But the point is, in the GDP figure, even if I went through 3 pairs of shoes, and that would be a higher measure, a higher GDP, a greater statistic than this one pair that lasts and is durable. And it comes down to it comes down to the distortion of the markets. So the markets aren't serving the economy. This fake economy isn't serving the customer, because it's not led by the market. If customers want durable goods, the market incentivizes durability. We have a big problem of planned obsolescence and inferior quality because of the state distorted markets, including IP law, subsidies, central bank inflation. And so a lot of these outcomes are not free market, but created by monopolists in bed with the state.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's awesome how you broke that down. I mean, I think we're in a history of repeated pattern with the Reagan economics, because like Trump is trying to use the same playbooks as Reagan, and that's why I want to bring up this next slide. Let me see. Hold on. Did I bring it up? There it is. So the last double dip recession in the United States occurred during the early 1980s, and of course, what happened in the early 1980s? What happened in the 1970s? Mad Max. Adam.
This was the stagflation, the oil crisis 50 years ago, right, when the Arabs attacked Israel, and there was a war, and then the OPEC retaliated and said, no more oil, USA. Big energy crisis caused massive cost push inflation, and at the same time, output reduced. Consequently, stagflation, where prices are going up and output is reducing. It's kind of a double whammy, and living standards reduced. And this is why GDP matters. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics, but statistics do still measure something in an objective population. So I can rally against the worship of GDP, but there is still some value in there. So, and the proxy value is GDP is supposed to measure average living standards.
Correct. And I mean, that's the thing with the dry good index. Why, like, you look at this, I tell you to look at the dry good index, look at gas and oil prices, because gas and oil prices are going to indicate what the travel, because the thing is energy is an indicator of growth. Energy is an indicator of products moving from point A to point B, construction, building, all of this jazz. So if oil prices are going down, especially when there was a 12-day conflict in the Middle East, I mean, like they were threatening to basically blockade the oil that represents nearly 30 to 40% of like the global supply. And
I thought it was 20%. It could be 30, 40. It could be, yeah.
It's something like that. It's like 20 or 30%, but it's 50% of China's oil revenue.
So one of the first things, one of the first things you learn in economics in high school, if you study it, or Econ 101, is that output is the same as income is the same as production, right? It's an equation. O is equivalent to I is equivalent to Y. All these things are GDP if you apply it to a national economy. In physics, energy has another name. Do you know what that is? It's 4 letters, begins with W.
Ooh, I don't have the foggiest.
Work.
What is it?
So
work.
Energy is also work and work done. So when you talk about the importance of energy in measuring the economy, yeah, energy is work, is a function of work. So the economy, you can look at energy as a maybe even as a better proxy for output, because activity requires energy, and
correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we produce as humans. Yeah, as humans, we produce energy. We consume food to produce that energy. So when we're not working and we're not working as hard, we're not eating as much. We're not consuming as much. So that's also a factor. There's a lot of at the end of the day, energy prices, dry good index are really good indicators to let you know what the economy is doing. There's the PPP, I think is what it's called. They don't use GDP, but
purchasing power parity, which is just to
And
say a dollar goes further in Nepal than it does in America.
correct. The PPP is important for indicating trade. So I use these three metrics, and I'm not an economist, but I am a policy expert, and I use these three metrics and kind of understanding what's going on geopolitically, what's going on with trade, and what's going on regionally, and nation, and world as a whole, a global economy. Because I focus on the global economy, not on the United States economy. We have a lot of followers that are from all over the world that watch and view the Liberty Report and view various podcasts that I produce, that you produce, and members of our channels. So that's the reason. There's a reason for that, because we're talking about everybody. We're talking about a lot of different people, a lot of different regions, a lot of different trade areas. So the moral story is what I'm getting to kind of break it down simply for the normal, the like average person to understand. The dry shipping index generally indicates what's the purchasing power, what are people consuming, are consumers buying, and the energy determines, is commerce producing products, are they producing a supply, is there a supply chain, is there a supply and demand, obviously. So supply is the dry index, and demand is the energy, and then the PPP is the trade between that. So is because obviously we're in a global society or global economy. So the PPP is important because China is trading widgets to America, and Saudi Arabia is selling oil to China to produce those widgets for America. So when you put all of this together, you can indicate if there's a global recession coming or if there's a regional recession, and so on and so forth, from those three major indicators.